So this other more interesting question is, how do we use the will? What is the manual? What is the software manual for this operating system? And I think we've learned a lot about it. As I was getting into before, but I was kind of cut off. We have our various theories. We can look now and compare with our formal logic systems to see what it doesn't capture that we actually do in our everyday lives or in exceptional moments. And we can learn something about the difference, right? But also in cognitive science, they've made some actual discoveries. People think in metaphors. If you think life is a game, that's different than if you think of life as a war or life as a job. What metaphor you use is like setting up the dominoes. The least free moments of will are when we're called to action and we have to just go with what seems to be the case. And sometimes we find ourselves doing a lot of automatic things, the way people treat their children. They say, geez, I sounded like my mom in that moment. The dominoes are already set up, but where do you go to set up the dominoes? And it's in deciding what metaphors you use to view certain things as certain things. And it's in working on cleaning up those metaphors. Like, let's say you think of a certain family as a bunch of pigs. Well, what do you think about? What does that mean? I use the example of pigs because most people don't know what pigs are really like. And they don't mean that they're like pigs in the real world. They mean they're like the way those people think of pigs. And it might not even be that those people might know pigs and are still using the term as though was this fantasy of pigs or of dogs, right? So you have to understand your own metaphors, and you can change them. If you find you're very aggressive in your life, and you might also find you think of life as a war. You could change that. You could start thinking of life through a different metaphor. You can improve your concept of war even. You can rectify your concept of war so that you're the peaceful warrior and it doesn't make you aggressive. You have a lot of approaches. All the approaches go through choosing what metaphors you're going to live by and altering the structure of those metaphors. So understanding the way one domain of a human situation is mapped to another, and they all come back to sense and motor metaphors from the body. That's how you can control your own mind. And I think this is one of the things that really bothers me about people, and especially in this discussion group kind of community. We supposedly want to think about things, but people often take their situations like, I like chocolate, therefore I try to get chocolate, as if they don't have control over if they continue to like chocolate. Well, you do. You do. It's impossible, it would seem, to have much discussion on this level, because this is not what they're living through. They're living through, they have a bunch of opinions, now they gotta get it. They gotta get those opinions out there, and other people should believe them, and they should act on them, and they don't do a lot of, well, is that really the opinion I want to have? People don't do a lot of, well, what opinion do I want to have on that? As a matter of fact, people think that's fake. And I've used examples before about how I didn't like the way I perceived things, and I detected that the problem was in me, not in the things themselves, and I changed my attitude towards those things. Is that wrong? No. That's what we ought to be doing.